Okay, this one has more questions, but the answers are easy to write, so I still think we'll be quick. So write down at the top of your paper WG 10.7. And we're going to look at some of the human geography facts of the sub-Saharan Africa. So first, let's talk about this. It's a region of life and death, and it's a place of disease and exponential growth. So please write that down for number 1. Right there, exponential growth. And what does that mean? That means rapid rate growth. It's growing really quickly. Some people almost think it means that the growth is doubling. So they're saying that all this bad stuff's happening there, but also all this rapid growth, which is a good thing, is happening there. So that's important to note. Okay, moving to question number 2. I'll leave that show right there in case you need to write it. Now let's go to question number 2. Over the last 50 years, what has quadrupled? What has quadrupled over the last 50 years? The population has. So number 2 is population. Number 3, of the world's population, how many people, or what percentage of the world's population lives in this area? 10% is your answer for number 3. Number 3, what percentage of the world's population lives in this area? And that would be 10%. Now what's interesting is most of them are going to die by the time they're 50. But many of them, not most of them, some of them will live to be 50. Some will live to be 50, but most of them will die by what age? Number 4 right there, 30. Most of them will die by the time they are 30 years old. So question number 4, by what age will most of them die? Okay, so it says computer is offline. Let's see if we can keep going. So next, let's take a look at the sub-Saharan. We're back online, so that's good. The sub-Saharan women, sub-Saharan women, they have a lot of what? What do they have a lot of? The answer is children. Now for this next question, let's go to our question and answer page. So we are going to go right here to this next question. And here's our question and answer page. Number 1, they have exponential growth. Number 2, 30%, what quadrupled? The population. Number 3, what percentage? 10. Number 4, most will die by the time they're 30. Number 5, they have children. So now let's look at question number 6. Let's scroll up here a little bit. Question number 6. In 2009, what was the U.S. average birth rate per woman versus Nigeria's? So they're saying, what was the U.S. That word doesn't belong in there. Average birth rate. So that means that the women in America were having 2.05 babies per woman. Every woman was having about 2 babies. Now in Nigeria, every woman was having 4.9 babies. So that's about saying every woman was having almost 5 babies. So you could say 2 versus 5, or to be more exact, you could say 2.05. And we'll look at that here. So it's going to be 2.05 VS for versus 4.91. So let's look at that again over here. For this question, you see here, this is your answer right there. So those 2 yellow numbers, they actually go in the same answer for number 6, 2.5 versus 4.91. Okay, number 7. I'll even give you the answer for 7 here, but then we're going to go look at it. The answer to number 7 is youth bulge. The high birth rates contributed to a large population of youth, and that was called a youth bulge. So we're going to come back over here and take a look at it now. So the high population caused in yellow youth bulge. More than 40% of the population is how old? 15. Let's go back to our question so we can see what number we're on actually. Here we go. Right here is 15. So number 8. more than 40% of the population is below the age of 15. So that means almost half of the people that live in this country is younger than 15. So imagine if in America, 50% of the people were under 15. Right now we have a lot of adults in America, and some of you, well, you guys are in high school that I'm talking to right now. So if you're in high school, you're older than 15. Could you imagine if you went outside and 50% of the people that you saw were all younger than you? 50%, that's really a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 40% here. Okay, so more than 40%. Still, it's extremely high. So anyway, number 9, let's just do that from this page as well. Number 9, the region has the highest infant mortality rate in the what? World. The answer is world. So this region has the highest infant mortality rate. That means that a bunch of kids are dying. They have more kids dying in sub-Saharan Africa than anywhere. So that is really a sad statistic. Let me see what number that was. That was number 9. Okay, so number 9 is world. So we are right down here. Let's catch up here. Right here is number 9. It has the highest infant mortality rate in the world. Now let's go to number 10. AIDS is a terrible disease issue over there. And in 2011, how many people died from AIDS? 1.75 million. How many people died from AIDS? 1.75 million. Okay, so we see that right there for number 10. Now we're going to get ready to do number 11. Let's go back over here to number 11. No, it said 100. I guess we skipped that question. Let me go back and look at our answers here. Do we see a 30%? Okay, I guess it's just going to be part of that. Okay, so Zimbabwe. Oh, I see what we did. I made a mistake here. Hold on. Okay, so now we are looking at, there's 13 questions. We had a little mistake here. Okay, so now let's look at this. Zimbabwe has the highest population of people with AIDS. How many people in Zimbabwe have AIDS? 30%. So there's almost as many people with AIDS as there are young people in our other question. That is really crazy. See number 11, 30%. Okay, so now we've got to do number 13, 12, and 13. Let's finish up 12 and 13. Let's get back to here. Number 12, boom, 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 boom. It's going to have the number 100. How many people live per square mile? And here's your answer, 100. Number 12, how many people live per square mile? 100. And number 13, what is why can people not live in the environments of sub-Saharan Africa? What is very difficult for the large majority of environment? And what is very difficult? The answer is human habitation. Human habitation is very difficult. I just put it in blue. I can even change it to blue in that kind of blue. Yeah, human habitation is very difficult. So that's it. You don't have to do any of these, so you're done.